Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're tearing into the incredibly dense red herring prospectus of the Molbio Diagnostics IPO to see if it actually deserves a spot in your portfolio. Now, if you follow the healthcare sector at all, you know that diagnostic companies have been massive wealth creators lately. But today, we're looking at an offering that completely flips the traditional pathology business model on its head.
So, the big question on everyone's mind, is the Molbio IPO actually worth your hard-earned cash? Let's dive right into it. Because look, we aren't just talking about another chain of strip mall collection centers here. We are evaluating a hardcore technology disruptor, one backed by heavy intellectual property and 13 long years of rigorous research and development.
Just look at the stark contrast here. On one side, you have these bulky, centralized PCR machines. They require samples to be collected, shoved into temperature-controlled vans, and processed in massive batches at some central lab. It takes days, right? Well, Molbio's TrueNat platform is a completely different beast. It's battery-operated, totally decentralized, and it delivers results in just 60 minutes. Anywhere in the world, no continuous power supply needed, no crazy temperature controls. It's an absolute game changer. Okay, here's our quick roadmap for today. We're going to meet Molbio Diagnostics, decode the IPO details, look at the promoters and future prospects, check out their financial health and returns, map out the competitor landscape, and finally, dig into the valuation and our final takeaways. Let's kick things off with Section 1, Meet Molbio Diagnostics and how they are decentralizing healthcare. To really get why this company is valued the way it is, you have to understand point of care, or POC diagnostics. Basically, think of it like the leap from those giant desktop computers of the 90s to the smartphone in your pocket. Point of care means bringing complex molecular testing directly to the patient side. No heavy infrastructure, no grid dependence. This isn't just about convenience. It's literally a lifeline for underserved or remote populations where building a multi-million-dollar lab just isn't going to happen. Moving right along to Section 2, Decoding the IPO details, let's talk about the price tag. So how is the pie being divided? Well, a very healthy 35% of this offering is carved out specifically for retail investors like you and me. Half of it is going to qualified institutional buyers and 15% to high net worth individuals. That 50% institutional chunk is great because it suggests a reliance on strong, stable backing while still giving us regular folks a really solid entry point. And we are talking about a massive overall offering here, 939.70 crore rupees to be exact. It's a mix of a 200 crore rupee fresh issue and an offer for sale. Now, through this process, the promoter's stake is going to drop from 46.65% down to 37.69%. Sure, that's some dilution, but the promoters, including CEO Sriram Natarajan, are definitely keeping plenty of skin in the game. Now, here's the absolute crucial point. They aren't just cashing out and buying yachts. They're plowing capital straight back into the business. They're dropping over 118 crores into a center of excellence in R&D infrastructure, plus another 79 crores for plant and machinery in their Goa and Visakhapatnam units. They are building out serious physical capacity to match their tech, getting ready for massive, large-scale product deployment. All right, Section 3, Promoters and Future Prospects. Vision and expansion are everything, right? So who's actually running the show? You've got veteran promoters Sriram Natarajan and Dr. Chandrasekhar Bhaskaran Nair at the helm, and they've spent 13 grinding years getting ICMR certification. But get this, the World Health Organization literally endorsed their TrueNat platform as a complete replacement for traditional smear microscopy. You don't just snap your fingers and get a WHO endorsement. That is a gigantic, competitive moat that gives them instant global credibility and unlocks major public health contracts. So what does this growth actually look like for your portfolio? Well, they already absolutely dominate the local tuberculosis market. We're talking a 92% share of incremental TB installations in India since 2019. But they aren't a one-trick pony. They already cover 30 diseases, and they're aggressively rolling out 34 new testing assays for 22 more. Plus, they are perfectly positioned to surf a massive 9.4% global growth tailwind in molecular diagnostics, a market heading towards $31.1 billion by 2030. Let's hit Section 4, Financial Health and Returns. Because a good story is fun, but we need hard numbers to justify an investment. Just look at this explosive sales momentum. Revenue jumped 22% in FY25, and then blasted off with a 42% top-line growth in FY26, hitting 1455.17 crore rupees. It proves the market is aggressively adopting their platform. And remember the beauty of their business model? They sell the TrueNet device once, but the testing kits, those generate continuous recurring revenue. It is that classic, highly lucrative razor and blade model. The underlying engine here is incredibly efficient. We are talking zero debt, literally zero. Plus, an EBITDA margin north of 22%, a solid return on equity of 15.59%, and a return on capital employed of 17.55%. Now, to be totally transparent, there was a slight 18% dip in net profit growth in FY26, definitely something to monitor, but honestly, a zero debt-to-equity ratio gives management unbelievable flexibility to navigate any bumps in the road.
Section 5. The competitor landscape. It's a real David versus Goliath situation out there. Okay, let's map out the battlefield. When you look at industry giants like Dr. Lal PathLabs or VIJAYA Diagnostics, you might see higher basic EPS or even massive margins, like VIJAYA's 40%, but Molbio is playing a completely different game. MEDICURE, METROPOLIS, Lal PathLabs, they all rely on centralized labs. That means massive capital expenses, messy logistics, and slow turnaround times. Molbio is coming in with decentralized technology. They don't need a mega lab. They just need their little portable device out in the field.
The bottom line, you cannot evaluate Molbio like a traditional pathology franchise. You are looking at a pure technology disruptor. You have to price in their intellectual property and the sheer scalability of a product that can literally be dropped into a new country tomorrow without pouring a single ounce of concrete. Finally, Section 6, valuation and final takeaways, because even a great company is a bad investment if the price is wrong. Here are the magic numbers: 768 to 807 rupees. That's your price band per share for this IPO. It's undeniably a premium valuation, but it reflects 13 hard years of R&D, that golden WHO endorsement, a pristine zero-debt balance sheet, and a 92% monopoly on new Indian public health TB installations. You are paying up for a proven, de-risked product that is already in its aggressive commercialization phase. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final, provocative question to chew on during your due diligence. Considering how fast the global molecular diagnostics market is exploding, and given Molbio's unique, highly protected technology, does this premium valuation justify adding a genuine healthcare disruptor to your portfolio right now? Thanks so much for joining me today, and happy researching.